Chapter 2. School in the Soviet Union. Schools in the Soviet Union were different from our schools in the United States. In 1931, when I first started to school, a child normally was 8 years old when he started. We learned very early to respect our teachers, and that school was all business and no nonsense. Horseplay was absolutely forbidden, and discipline would have been most severe. Therefore, I never saw any such actions by any of our students. Now it was a different situation during our lunch breaks, and on our way home after school was out. I can recall one event when I was about age 12. We were on our lunch break and we were right under the window of the principal's office. This boy, who had a crush on me and didn't know any other way to express it, began to pick at me. After much annoyance in this one-way love fest, I felt it was enough, and at age 12 my brilliant mind figured out a way to stop it. I immediately pulled off my boot right there in the snow and whacked him over the head with it. That put him in the snow with me on top of him, with several follow-up whacks, before I decided he had enough. I hadn't realized it at the time, but our principal and several of the teachers had witnessed the whole episode and were enjoying it. My mother baked bread in our large outside oven for several families, including the principal. When she delivered bread to his family one evening, he laughed about how I had handled the situation. Evidently, it had his complete approval. Since a student must learn everything in 10 years instead of 12, he would begin to learn algebra, geometry, and foreign languages in the 5th grade. If he showed promise during those early days of grade school and high school, he might be selected to continue his education at a university. If, however, he did poorly up through the 7th grade, he would be diverted to a vocational school to learn a skill or a trade of some sort, just as we would here in the United States. Except that in the USSR it was compulsory. Fate of those who showed no promise. If the child showed no promise during those first 7 years, he automatically finished the remaining 3 years in a vocational or technical school. And at the end of those 10 years of schooling, he would not be qualified to attend college. This idea might have its good points, but I object to their lack of freedom to choose. A highly intelligent late bloomer would forever be doomed to be numbered with the uneducated because he was bored to death and made only mediocre grades during his first 7 years of school. That type of punishment does not fit the crime. There were some exceptions to the general rule of education. One could better himself while he was in the armed services. My cousin, Mitrofan Grushenkov, was highly intelligent, but had almost no formal education prior to entering the army in the mid-1920s. Not only did he complete his education in the army, but he rose to the rank of general. I remember that he was a high-ranking general during World War II. He was also highly decorated. We will discuss him further on in the story.